See, I don't know how it happened, but I was always interested in photography, and nothing else. I didn't know about FBI. In those days, most of the films that I saw, they almost look the same. So the learning never stops. Even now, when I see things, I do learn, right?
Was it a spontaneous kind of process?
But that was not my forte. I had a basic plan of trying to do it a little differently.
You never really got stuck to a genre.
Depending on the director, what sort of film he wants to make. So I didn't want to fall in that category.
How did you handle disappointment?
Many days I was without money. You are not going to be successful in the film. I said, why? Because you take too much of time. I was an introvert. What I used to fear most is trying to socialize and talk with people. So I have a little bad temper, visually and especially in terms of lighting for the mood, and I'm the one who's supposed to think about it. So I did one film with Sanjay Bansali, Devdas. I said, I can't understand formulas. How do you learn a formula? I have no idea. I wanted to enjoy what I'm doing, and I didn't want to push myself to work fast and become a nervous wreck at the end of the day.
The visuals of 1942 A Love Story were so stunning.
I said, yeah, normally people call it solarization, but its actual name is Sabatier effect. What I used to do was I used to study a lot. I used to admire a lot of beauty in the landscape. Digital acquisition, that things are changing very fast. In thrillers, you play more with lights, more with camera movement.
Yeah.
Now there's information that comes from half knowledge. Now when I've lit up something, when I'm lighting, anybody can come behind me and say, oh, thoda sa andhera dikh raha hai. Science of digital photography is very different from your
What it was.
celluloid photography. It's a more difficult medium to play with.
Yeah.
Well, I did sort of direct a film. I won't say that I directed the film, but I didn't enjoy the experience. What matters most is how well you shoot it.
It's like 100 baat ki ek baat. We all enjoy the movies. We love going to the theaters, sitting in the dark space, and just having the world of cinema engulf us. We often take the beautiful images that we see so much for granted that today it feels worthy of the attention that it deserves. And we are honored and privileged to have master ace cinematographer Vinod Pradhan in our presence. Vinodji, welcome to the show. And we are so honored to have you. And we look forward to having this creativity conversation from cinematography and camera work point of view. So, as we get into it, I think the best place to begin would be how did you get drawn and attracted to photography, to images?
Well, since my childhood days, when probably I was 4 or 5 years or something like that, my father worked in a photo studio. Right from that time, I was very attracted to the camera and how he used to take pictures of customers that used to come to the photo studio. And yeah, I used to see Tibetans of those times coming and taking pictures.
Yeah.
And then I got fascinated by the watercolor that used to paint the black and white pictures.
Yeah. So, did you do any drawing or were you interested in any of that or exposed to it?
I was very interested in drawing, but I was very bad at it. I didn't get any formal
Really?
training.
Oh my God.
So it was,
Oh.
yeah, I wanted to do it, but I
Although,
could
when
never.
you say that, I have to share that a lot of the world's really celebrated, artists are those whose drawing was not what we would conventionally call like good drawing, not like the masters. And yet they had a very unique, kind of mark, a way of making their mark. And I think you brought it to,
Yeah, so see what happens is the great artists,
yeah,
they are naturally drawn towards sketching how they move their fingers and
yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
The technique
the
of it.
technique of
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So I didn't have any of that, but I was just interested in sketching and doing a watercolor of that sketch and all, and made a. Well, for my standard, it wasn't bad, but it was atrocious. If I now when I look back at it.
And so, from this interest in photography from a young age, when did you actually start to nurture this? That when did it start to become something more serious? That you started to feel that this might be something that you really would want to take on.
Since my school days, actually, I used to love photography. I used to take my camera to school and take pictures of the landscape, of friends. And I used to do a lot of experiments, study books. That time there was no internet that one could look at.
Yeah. So how challenging was that? Because I feel if you were just doing this self-development from books, it means that you would have to be very deliberate about, today it's even books we get on the internet. So here you would have to go get a book, study it, and decide for yourself what is useful, what is not useful. So how was that journey?
Information wasn't there so much in terms of
Yeah.
in terms of even what type of books that I need to buy. I didn't know what
Correct.
types of
Correct.
book to buy when I was in school,
Yeah.
and there was no exposure to the outside world.
Yeah.
I was just there in that small pond of Kalimpong, and whatever I knew was whatever I could. I mean, there was nothing that I could gather information about. Oh, I couldn't say that that's a very good book that I should buy.
Yeah.
So normally I used to get books of Kodak. With Kodak is a company I know, and then there was this book. I don't know. I just came across it. I think my dad had it or somebody had it. It was the British Journal of Photography. So these two books actually taught me a lot
Mm.
in terms of techniques, in terms of colors, in terms of lighting, various things.
And were there also some famous photographers or cinematographers that somehow started to influence or play on your mind that this is what they do, and maybe this could actually be something like a profession for you to take on?
Yeah, there were two photographers I was very influenced by in those days. One was Yusuf Kash. He used to take a lot of black and white pictures, portraits of celebrities, prime ministers, Winston Churchill, Jawaharlal Nehru, Ingrid Bergman, various people. And they were such lovely photographs. And they didn't look made up, they didn't have makeup on and anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was, I was very fascinated. I was drawn towards portraits by what he was doing.
Right. Right.
And the other guy I was really, really fascinated by was this photographer called Ansel Adams. He was a landscape photographer, and his passion was, I wish I could be like him. His passion was landscape photography. So he used to carry his huge cameras and go towards the wilderness in the US and just take pictures.
Isn't it so uncanny how these two people that you mentioned and what actually drew you to their work, that's exactly what you ended up doing. So
Yeah, I ended up doing, but I wish
it's
I
like
could do
those
it.
connecting of the dots.
I couldn't reach their standards, but I wish I could.
Yeah, people always feel that way, especially, that's I guess your modesty because what you've done is so celebrated that so from here, how did the real desire to actually consider that this could be a profession, a lifelong commitment? Did you have family support to begin with to do this?
Yes, my father was
Yeah,
a
since he was a photographer, you were fortunate in that way.
Yes, my father was a photographer. So he would encourage every time I work. I used to spend some amount of money using his chemicals and his photography paper and his film and all. Sometimes we were not very well off. Sometimes he used to feel the
Yeah.
pinch, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he used to say, comment, you're wasting a lot of money.
Yeah.
I said, no, but I need to learn.
Mm.
But he didn't really restrict me from using his facilities that he had. And so since school days, only since I was so interested in photography, and I could think of nothing else but doing photography. That was my aim, that was my passion, that was my challenge of doing better than what I did before. So that came from my school
Did
days.
you have like a bigger dream? Because for every big dream, the roots are, about finding a pathway. And so, would you say your pathway was joining the FTI and coming that sort of began the journey in a sense for you?
So joining, that was not FTI then, that was FII, Film Institute of India. Television wasn't there.
Ah,
Yeah. So
that's
now it is,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
now it is
yeah.
Film and Television
Yeah,
Institute
yeah,
of
yeah.
India.
Oh, so that's when you were there before even the kind of name we take for granted now was,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What prompted you to go there? Because it was supposed to be like the best in the country.
I mean, that was the only place I knew of which would teach me photography, not cinematography. My interest primarily was for photography.
Also, at that time, they were teaching just
No,
photography, is
no.
it? Yeah,
My interest was
it mainly for
photography,
yeah.
and when I saw the syllabus, it said first year is only still photography. So I really got fascinated because I wanted to know when I was in Kalimpong, I didn't even know how much I knew because
Yeah.
there was nobody I could interact with.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
There were no pictures of any famous photographers that I could see. They were only in books and prints, which were not very good prints. And in those days,
Yeah.
the photographs in the
Correct.
books were
Correct.
they're not very good.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I had no idea of where I stood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one day, after when I was finishing my school, that time one of my uncles, sort of cousin uncles, we have those sort of things in Kalimpong. So he suggested that there's this place called Film Institute of India that teaches photography and cinematography. Why don't you try and join there? Suddenly, my auntie and I looked at, wow, that's a good idea. I didn't know of any place. I knew of places, but they were all American,
Yeah. Yeah.
some
Yeah. Seems like
photography
too far
course and all.
out
Yeah,
for
how will I go there?
anything to really happen.
So I said, okay, let me try. Then I gave the application form. Then there was this entrance exam and the interview, and I
It's
passed through
it's it's
everything.
quite difficult to actually get in there, and
Yeah,
it's
actually, it's a for me not the interview, but the entrance exam was very difficult because I have very little knowledge
you
of
know
GK.
the general knowledge that is. I personally, I don't feel that that's a good thing to do because
I know.
I tried it, I didn't pass that because of the general knowledge. Otherwise, I was very keen on, I was experimenting with music, with art, with direction. But I couldn't nail down the general because there were people who were reading the newspaper and educational books their entire life. There's no way that I could match up to those
Yeah, even now,
statistics.
they have those government exams.
Yeah.
I can't remember what
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
called.
yeah, yeah.
For an artist, why do you need to know
And
that? I don't
personally,
know.
I'm so glad you brought up this really relevant topic because I think that, so many things in the system are not really analyzed. That are they really useful? Or could one actually be losing a genuine candidate by putting these sort of limitations in the way? So yeah. So it's very interesting that you shared this and actually
Yeah.
drew some attention
So
to
I don't
it.
know how well I did in GK, but
Yeah.
I didn't even know who was this guy called Henry Kissinger of that time. He was
Oh
the
my God.
I
Yeah.
went to my friend and said, "Who the hell is Henry Kissinger?" So my GK was
Well,
that limited.
that
Yeah,
oh
that
my God,
limited.
yeah. But then how did you
I don't know. It may be that so when you give your application, you have to show your work. So my work was profuse in the sense all the techniques and all which hardly anyone would have even known about. I had
yeah,
I
yeah,
had displayed all those in my
yeah,
portfolio sort
yeah.
of a thing. Maybe that was the case. I'm not sure.
Most likely that could have been
Yeah.
the
In
case.
fact, in the interview, the head of cinematography department, he was asking me what is this thing called.
Yeah.
I had taken various
Huh,
samples of my
huh.
work, right? So he showed one and said, "What is this called?" So I called him like I mean, I'll tell you what exactly I said. I said it's called the Sabatier effect. So no, not many people would know it as a Sabatier effect. So he asked me, "Is there any other name for it?" I said, "Yeah, normally people call it solarization, but its actual name is Sabatier effect." So I think he got very thrilled with what I was saying.
And that's, I think, that when real knowledge is there, that conveys itself. And I think eventually that they also know that that's what they're really
Yeah, even
looking
the
for.
dean of the institute, he was there in the
Yeah, yeah.
interview panel. See, he liked a picture of a rose that I had taken so much that after the interview, he said, "Can I keep this picture?" I said, "Wow,
Wow. Oh my
मेरा settle हो गया."
मतलब आपका पहले से ही people already you were getting that acknowledgement, that response right from the beginning. And I actually feel hearing that, which means your childhood, everything you were doing from the beginning was definitely on the right track, on from a creativity point of view, whether knowingly or unknowingly, you were constructing yourself in the right way for this.
Yes, I had a great passion for photography. I mean, I could think of nothing else but photography, day and night, even when I was in school. I used to take my camera along for in school, whether I needed it or not.
Ah,
And the day I don't have a camera, my friends would ask, "What's wrong with you? You don't have a camera with you today."
yeah.
I was that
It's
passionate
it's
about.
like obsession also
Yeah,
to
I
a
was
certain
obsessed with it.
to
Yes.
a degree. Was it something that your parents actually encouraged?
Yeah, I would think they were encouraging me because they didn't say anything.
Yeah. But they were not like,
Yes.
today the way parents insist that their children have to go for music classes, have to perform, have to participate in competitions. Was it that sort of an atmosphere at home or
No, not really.
It was
Not
laid back.
really.
That
It
if
was
you like
laid
it,
back,
you can do it.
and because I was doing what my father was doing, and in fact I was doing it better than him. And that moment, I knew
Yeah.
of so many things that he didn't know about. So I think they were happy that I was
Yeah.
following my father's
You know,
footsteps.
what would you say? Because I feel people struggle so much with the kind of clarity you seem to have always had about something that really interested you. Do you have any thoughts on how you had that clarity, how you had that single-mindedness? Otherwise, people get so distracted from one thing to the other that for you to kind of in your heart hold this one interest right from the beginning. Do you have any idea how or
See, I don't know how it happened, but I was always interested in photography, and nothing else. In fact, when I was in college, my friends who had come from my school days, we were together,
yeah,
and they knew that from now they'll have to go out and start doing whatever professionally they want to do, and they had no idea what to do in life. What sort of a profession to follow. One of them became a doctor because his father forced him to, but he was happy about it later on. The other one is running a restaurant now, but they didn't know what to do,
yeah.
how to take that life. I said, I have no problem. There's only one thing I want to do, and that is become a photographer. And they said, oh, that's very lucky. You're very lucky that you have a mission that you want to do.
And was the FTI thing clear in your mind that after 12th, this is where I'm going? So that was a
So I
pretty
came,
clear.
yeah. So I came to know about it roughly when I was in the 11th standard. There was no 12th then.
So till then, you didn't know even, you didn't
FTI.
know, if you didn't know about
I
FTI.
didn't know about FTI. Yeah. And after that, I joined college, and then I came to Pune with my dad and figured out what it's all about. And they needed a qualification of intermediate. That time it was called intermediate, which is now equivalent to class 12, I think. 12, 12 or the first year of
Yeah, of college.
science course.
Hmm.
So I did my first year in college. That is equivalent to class 12 now. And then after that, I applied. I got it.
How was the transition, moving from the comfort of your home place to suddenly come to another city, another environment?
So coming to Pune and joining the Film Institute of India was like being in heaven for me, because everything was there. Everything that I wanted was there, and there was such a huge library, and
So many people have mentioned that Jaya Bachchan and a lot of that. It was really that they had the time of their life there.
yes, yes.
Shabana Azmi,
Yeah,
many
it
people.
was very. I mean, you're doing what you're passionate about, and at the same time, you don't have the burden of being successful in what you were doing.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was very interesting, and that was one of my best moments of my.
Was it also, did you have some interesting creative kind of interactions with people? Because, in a normal day to day, we don't get to interact with people who are thinking like you and not exactly specific to photography, but somewhere they're seeking careers of in the creative fields. Did that in any way interest you? Those kind of interactions with people?
No, see,
Or were you a loner?
I was an introvert. I still am an introvert. So I find it very difficult to
Communicate and talk.
communicate, and
You
for
know,
me to.
it seems very paradoxical because you communicate that effectively that all the celebrated directors have reached out to you for their movies. And a very different array that you never got caught up in any genre as such. You could do a Munna Bhai MBBS. You could do a 1942 love story. You could do a Rang De Basanti. You could do a Devdas. So the whole spectrum is so varied that, you say that you're not very communicative. How did your interactions with these directors happen? Because they were so different. Their movies are so different.
Yeah, so to talk about cinematography, I can, but for general talk, like
Okay, so when it's
about
on the topic, you're such a true artist. Every time you say this, that whenever it's the work, it appears that you get that just that confidence, that interest to communicate, and perhaps otherwise you couldn't be bothered.
no, no. In fact, people say that I don't talk only. So when I passed out from the institute, one of my friends.
Huh.
He's from Kalimpong only. In
Huh.
fact,
Well,
he
that's
came.
nice. You had some company of sort
Yeah,
there.
and so he was here, and I was there. He was working in a production house called Durga Khode Production,
Huh.
and he used to say, "You know what your problem is? You don't speak at all." I said, "I don't know what to speak. What do I say when I meet a person like hello, and after that, what to say?" You know?
But why people talk so much is, to be liked by people, to feel part of a group. It's very hard to make a decision that I won't talk to people. I don't need to
No,
suck
no,
up to
it's
them
yeah.
and just, be by
No, no, it's
yourself.
not that. It's not that I tell myself I'm not going to talk to people.
It's,
It's just that I don't know what to talk. I could never communicate. Like you must have observed that when you're talking to
yes,
me, I wasn't talking much because that's me. You know, I can't talk so much. Yeah,
yeah,
only when you talk about my
your work.
work and all, something comes out from me.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, I'm a loner. I have very few friends, and I talk very little. In fact, all the friends that I have, they are the talkers. I'm just the listener.
Well, today we aren't going to allow that to happen because everybody wants to hear all, everything about you and how actually you've constructed yourself. I think that is something which we are all genuinely curious about. So once, the FTI journey was over, the move to Mumbai, did that happen organically? Was that something that you started to become clear for you that yeah, now after the FTI, Mumbai is the place for me to head to?
Yeah, I knew that Mumbai is the place to be in, but
Yeah,
if I hadn't got my initial work, I would have probably gone back because I'm not a struggler that way. You know, I wouldn't be able to stay here and hunt for work
yeah.
because I don't know how to ask for work. I've never asked for work in my life. Now, how can I go to any camera person, for example? I don't even know who to go and approach. And I did go to Nepal.
But work happened. You got some kind of work even before you came to Mumbai.
So no, I didn't get any work like that. But
Then how did you actually come to Mumbai?
so there's a cameraman called Prem Sagar. He had come when I was in the second year, and he was an examinee of my seniors, the third year
Huh,
guys.
huh.
And I was assisting one of the seniors. So he saw the way I was assisting him, and he was quite impressed by what I was doing. So next year he just took me under his wing, said, "Come." So luckily that
Which is
happened.
the ideal thing because
Yeah,
after having like formal education, then with the assisting thing, you actually got an experience of the work environment
at least I
practically.
got a place to. At least that gave me a foothold to Mumbai.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So whatever I learned from there is not the main thing. The main thing is that otherwise I would have gone back home. You know, there was
yeah.
nothing for me to
Correct,
do.
correct.
As I told you, once I went to Nepal. There's this place called Royal Nepal Film Corporation. That was the only place where I thought I can go and
Oh,
ask for work.
oh,
I went there. And my friend also went there with me. His name is Shambhu Pradhan. He's in Nepal now.
oh.
We went there and we didn't get any work there. They said there's no place.
Was this when you were still studying at FTI or after you
No,
graduated?
this is after I
After you
graduated.
graduated.
Yeah.
So you checked that out once to see if
Yeah.
that was working out.
Yeah. But luckily I didn't get any work there.
Yeah, for sure. Lucky
Yeah.
for us. Yeah. So, after coming to Mumbai, how long was it before, things started to change that how did you actually get your own work?
It was a it took a lot of time. I struggled a lot,
Yeah.
and many days I was without money, any money because
How do you actually stay with that? Because I think how one manages financially, this is really something difficult, which keeps a lot of people away from their dreams. Uh, just the hardships involved and the uncertainty involved. How did you cope with
so
that period?
when I was in F Film Institute of India,
Yeah,
my dad was footing the bill, like
yeah,
whatever it
correct,
was. But after I came back here, I knew that I should not take any more money from my dad because he's not a rich guy. He's barely managing,
correct.
putting me in the institute. So I thought I shouldn't take money. But then I got this work from Prem Sagar. I was getting some 500 rupees at that time, which was enough for me to survive for the month. And that That went on for a year or so. Then I was I was not progressing in that place because they're all big professional people over there working, and me being an introvert, I couldn't
You couldn't really
go
get from it.
forward and
Yeah,
show them, okay, this is what I can
yeah,
do.
yeah. Were you learning from them?
Yes, I
Or
was
you
learning.
were learning?
I was
You were
learning.
sort of grasping how they were doing things
Yeah,
and
so that learning never stops. Even now, when I see things, I do learn, right? So that learning never stops wherever I am. But that time, yes, I learned a little more because the way they were handling the lights, for example. I would have needed to practice much more than what I had done till then. So not that I didn't learn, I did learn. But beyond a certain limited amount, I couldn't be more creative in my thinking. So what they were doing was something not in terms of lighting. I'm talking of not camera operation, but in terms of lighting, what they were doing was, I mean, they were like formula, no?
yeah,
अच्छा ये
correct.
ऐसे होना चाहिए,
Yeah.
ऐसे होना चाहिए.
Like by the book. That how it.
Yeah, so that's why I realized that in those days, most of the films that I saw, they almost look the same.
Yeah, yeah.
There,
That's so true.
yeah, there were
Yeah,
very few
yeah,
that were
yeah.
out of the standard formulas, the set patterns.
And you were sort of sensing this. That yeah,
That I knew from there.
that this is not really, it could be so much different and so much
Yes,
better.
so that was within me. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
tell anybody. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
I
do it
know,
like
of
this.
course. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So after that, I joined AK Beer. He was a different sort of a different type of a camera person who was lighting things differently. And
So by this time, you had already come into the world of cinematography. From just photography, that during FTI had cleared itself out.
once I finished FTI, once I finished the 3 years course,
Yeah.
I realized that now I won't. Before that, actually, I realized that I won't be able to go back to my dad's photo studio and work
Yeah.
because वहाँ खाली आके वो passport photos लेंगे और group family photographs लेंगे और
One confusion I had, that when you were at FTI, was it just a still photography course or it was a cinematography
no,
course?
that's a 3 years course.
Yeah.
The first year
First year
is
is still.
still photography, and after that, second year and third year, you do cinematography.
So you were already a trained cinematographer
Yes,
by the
yes,
time you
yeah, yeah.
and so then naturally there was no question of just going back
Going
to
back, yeah.
still photography.
Not just the
So
still photography. I mean, the type of photography that my father did
that
was a
that was not
professional photo
interesting. Yeah.
studio thing, which
And I think at that time, photography was also not creative the way it is today. Like today, even in that, perhaps there could be many more dimensions, but at that time, it was quite simple and standard.
yeah.
Like you said, I mean, if it's just for passport photographs, mostly that's
So that's what my dad was all about, right?
what he,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But I knew of one photographer I remember from India was Raghu Rai. He was a great photographer, and the type of pictures that he used to wear, that were amazing. But I wouldn't know how to go, how to go there and start behaving like him,
Yeah, yeah.
because that was not my forte.
Yeah, actually, in a way, you've broken the myth that, with film, people feel that you have to be a certain personality type in order to come in here and fit in and do the rounds, which is quite contrary to the personality you carry. So it's interesting to know that how did you actually start getting work with the personality, with being introverted, not really talking, pleasing people, and sucking up to people. With none of that, how did people even know that you exist?
So the people who knew me were from whoever was there from the institute, and they realized that I'm not a very boisterous, very loud
Yeah,
person, and
yeah.
probably they must have thought that I'll be easy to get along with. I'm
Oh.
not sure.
That
But
you may not contradict or bother to
maybe I'm not sure. But yeah, people used to say that my cinematography then was good according to them, and uh, so I got a work offer from Kundan Shah for Jani Budo Yaro.
So was that the first work offer
That was
you
my
got?
first Hindi film.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a very big deal. Jaane Bhi To Yaaro as how did that happen? Because for a well-known director, it was also Kundan Shah's first movie as such.
Yes.
And you by destiny were ordained in a way for that.
Correct. But I think before that I had done some Nepali films.
Oh, you had done some
Yeah.
Nepali films.
Two Nepali films of my
Yeah.
friends only. We shot
Yeah.
in Kalimpong, my hometown.
Yeah.
It was lovely. It was like having a picnic with my friends.
Yeah.
and I had done two Assamese films for Janu Barwa.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So you were all because he's like very artistically known for his work, and so how did actually that happen? Because was he? I think he was also from FTI.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was a year senior to me. Janu was a year senior to me, and so he knew me from before, and probably we hit out very well. So his first Assamese film was done by me, and the second one as well.
Was he as celebrated then as we know him today? Or I'm thinking more that did that impact Kundan Shah when he decided on you, and
No,
were
no,
these films a part
no.
of that decision?
This was Janu's first film also.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah. So even for him it was just kind of
getting
getting into
getting
it
into it.
and
Yeah,
get
right.
I see.
Besides that, they were, I may be, it may be sounding like a lot of films, but they were far and
Spread.
spread
So
out for a long
actually
time.
after FTI till you got Jaane Bhi To Yaro, how much of a gap was there? What was that period like?
What?
How many years though? When did
I
Jaane Bhi
don't,
To
I can't remember when Janu was shot.
I see. But it was a good few years you're saying
Yes,
that
yes,
you were in Bombay.
yes.
Like if you were like close to a decade and all or
Not
a
up to
short
that
part.
much. I really don't know.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. Just to kind of understand that how long were you in that struggle? It actually sounds like it wasn't even that much of a struggle phase because you had shot 4 movies and you were assisting uh, at the same time also.
No, that time I had stopped
You
assisting.
had stopped assisting. So that was, you were saying, just for a year or so, moving to Bombay.
Yeah, so for a year I worked with Sagaras, then I Prem Sagar, and then after that I worked with A.K. Veer.
Huh.
Then for a short stint I did with Barun Mukherjee, some ad films and all. I was
You
assisting.
did ad films also.
Yeah, I was assisting him in writing and all.
So how was the Jaane Bhi To experience actually of working in a Hindi film and was it?
Let me tell you, it wasn't as funny as it looks. There
That's
was a
so
lot of
true.
hard work, long,
Yeah.
long hours of shooting.
Yeah, and it was a comedy uh, which we have all enjoyed,
Yeah.
and it was a big thing, when it came. And um, so, what was very interesting that your first movie, you're known to be like the visual, kind of master of frames and beautiful visuals. So, Jaani Bhi To Yaro didn't really afford you that sort of uh, a canvas to be able to.
Yes.
So, how was that? And then comedy was the main goal of the whole thing. So, how do you think when you approach a movie?
So, like a film like Jani Bhi Do Yaar, you take it as what you're doing as you're shooting the actors and their dialogues. Because that it's
That's what
very
is the main
dialogue.
thing.
Yeah,
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
is what's important in that,
Yeah.
and so you work accordingly.
And that was the requirement. And I think it's quite amazing that you have that clarity to know that in this, what is needed. And so you keep that approach authentic to the requirement of the film.
Yeah, but it could also be hindsight.
But hindsight is, yeah, now you can say with clarity that that's
Yes.
what your approach was. At that time, you were probably being instinctive in what
Yeah,
felt
I was.
right.
Yeah, and whatever whatever looks we had to do and all,
Yeah.
I knew that it should not be. It should be very light in terms
Ah,
of a look. It should be.
correct, correct.
It should not be dark and
Heavy
moody.
and yeah, yeah.
So those things, of course.
Ah.
Yeah.
And once, Jani Bhi Do Yaru turned out to be a huge success. So after that, what came next for you after this?
So after Janabi Do Yaro, I think there was a big lull in my profession.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I had thought now my time has come and all,
Yeah,
but it didn't really
yeah.
happen.
Oh, it didn't
And
happen.
no, no. And until I think after that, I think I did Jaitre Jait after that.
Jaitre Jait Marathi.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the songs of that movie.
Oh,
Are
lovely
Out
songs.
the
Even now, they're
Candle.
still
Absolutely. I
still.
sing them. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I hear the songs even now.
Was it Jabbar Patel's?
Yes.
Yes. You've worked with all the best. I mean, so from Jani Bhi To Yaru, you come to Jaitre Jait.
Yes.
Again, a very
In
different.
fact, I'll tell you one stint. We had formed a cooperative film thing called Yukt. So that was there was Manikal, Hariharan, Kundan, I'm not sure.
A lot of the art directors.
Yeah.
Huh.
So with that, I shot one film. Me and a friend of mine, we shot together.
Huh.
It was a cooperative. We had four DOPs, cameramen, and this one we were supposed to do together. Me and a friend called Rajesh Joshi. It was called Ghashiram Kotwal. So that was one of them. I just forgot to
That's a
mention that.
classic in Marathi cinema to date.
Theatre
Yeah,
is
yeah. The play, is it?
play is very
Yeah,
popular.
yeah.
Film didn't do well at all.
Oh, the film didn't do
No,
well,
it
is it?
was-
For me, I think the strength of that play was so much that it's always stuck in my mind. So this was the movie version. You're saying the movie version didn't work.
No. It was highly experimental. So I don't know. Probably it was the audience couldn't understand what was happening or something like that. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is.
And actually, they've observed that a lot of times, uh, what is in the form, a story in the form of a play, if it works, it doesn't somehow necessarily translate well into film.
Unless it's Sound of Music.
Unless it's Sound of Music, yes. Yeah. So that's amazing. You had some of these movies, and so was this part of the lull that after the lull, or did you decide that now it's fine? I've done a Hindi movie, but I'll do what all these movies also.
I was saying these films, they were spaced out quite a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, after Jaitrajat, I got married. And now I remember, I remember now.
So since you brought up that you got married, if I can interrupt and say, how did you choose your life partner? Because they say that the choice of a life partner can impact one's life in a very strong way, either to support or to take away. So were you conscious of all these things when you decided to get married?
No, it was just plain and simple love.
Oh, it was an arranged match.
No, it was just love.
It was a love match.
Yeah. So
So was
she's
she
a
also-
Gujarati.
Oh, she's a Gujarati.
Gujarati Kachi, and I'm a
Uh-huh.
Nepali. So
So you met in Mumbai?
yes, I was a PG in a house.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah, so
that's
familiarity and
interesting.
falling in
So
love.
it was like, well, since you had an opportunity to communicate and connect, that's how it developed. Was there any resistance, or it
But
was?
there was.
There
The
was.
family house, they left.
Yeah.
And she was quite young. So we actually eloped.
Oh, you eloped.
Yeah. Because
So
nobody
now
would
this
have.
is a thing that quiet people also elope, and
No, they also have their own desires and their wants, right?
Yes, of course. Thank you for standing up for all those who are quiet and people think, "Arey, ye to kuch karenge nahi," and then they go and do all this. That's but I'm guessing that she already knew you well enough, because since if you were staying as a paying guest,
Yes.
so there was already that level of knowing what your work involved, and
Well, I don't think she really looked at what I was, or
she just connected with
she
you.
just
Yeah.
connected with me in terms
Yeah.
of our emotions, and
Yeah.
that's how it
Yeah.
happened. So what I wanted to tell you was actually, so after Jaitres, there was a long lull.
After Jaitri Jait
After-
also.
Yes. So I was working for documentaries and all in Durga Khote Productions.
Do you enjoy the genre of documentaries? Did that interest you?
Yeah, but this is a different. These are corporate documentaries. so
Right.
they're not-
So they're very kind of, you just have to be very factual and
or there could be uh, dramatized versions of, or it could be like simple films, feature films, like
Yeah.
story films,
Ah.
not documentaries as what it's known for.
Hmm.
So that's what used to keep me sustained
Hmm.
financially.
And after Jaitri Jait, how did the next breakthrough happen?
After Jaitre Jait, I think it was Vinod Chopra's film Khamosh.
So because Vinod Chopra is considered to be very demanding, and was Khamosh his first movie?
No, this was his second film.
Second film.
First one was, I think, called Sazae Maut.
And then how did you come on board for these, for Khamosh?
So I'd worked in Jani Bhi Do Yaro, and he was helping out Kundan as a production person. They were friends from the institute, right? So they were helping each other out.
Correct.
Yeah,
So were you already friends with Vinod Chopra?
I knew them, but they're not.
But you were not like really pally at that.
No, I was hardly pally with anyone. Anyways, uh, They knew me and I knew them, and he saw my work over there.
Yeah.
So he must have found me quite amicable in terms of
Yeah.
the way I was working. So he offered me this film.
Yeah.
How much?
What was the experience? Because he supposed people are quite scared of him, and
No, if you're those days, I didn't have a problem with him at all
Hmm.
because I don't think we had any. He wasn't trying to dominate me or anything
Yeah.
like that, which
Yeah,
happens
which
after you
happens.
a
Yeah.
certain age. Huh?
Yeah. So maybe that also for him was kind of his beginning stage
Yes.
of evolving. Yeah.
And he has to make his technical people work, right?
Yeah.
So if you start dominating, then
Exactly.
how do you expect him
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
So probably that was the way of thinking. I don't know. But we never had any you big, me small sort of an attitude was never there.
Mm.
And we got along fine. And
So from
he liked
here,
what I
would
did.
you say that your visual kind of language or your visual vocabulary, would you say from here it started to grow more and more?
So this was a film, this was a thriller. So this was one place where I could do more than just
Yeah.
do
Just
a
tell a
plain, simple,
story, a simple, yeah.
non-impressive work. No, it
Yeah.
wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So I could try and do things. I could think of how to do this.
Little out of the box, more.
Yeah, a little out of box, correct.
Yeah.
So this is the first film that made me look at it as a non-commercial sort of a film. For me, commercial film was lighting everything flat, and
Yeah.
everything has to be seen. So this one didn't need that sort of an approach.
And you had the support
Vinod.
yeah, Vinod, to
Yeah,
actually enable these kind of ideas and visuals you were creating
true,
to
correct.
be supported.
Yes, yes. So he was out uh, for me trying to I don't know whether to call it experiment or give it a different sort of a look.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was for it. Yeah, he agreed to what I wanted to do in terms of looks and all, and it was fine.
Was there
Actually, there was
something,
very little of discussions most of the time.
was it a spontaneous kind of process? Or had you started to think that I'm now, this could be an opportunity where I really experiment and try out something? Was that something which was burning in you, or did it happen very spontaneously, like you didn't really think and plan and it just evolved?
No, the plan, I had a basic plan of trying to do it a little differently. And so that was
That
always
was
in
at
the
your
back of
back.
my head. And that's how I worked. And one of the things that I had in mind was most of the time the feature. I don't want to talk bad about
No, no,
cinematography, but
it's
the way
just
it was
yeah, it's just an
little,
honest
yeah, it's just
explanation.
it was very flatly lit and all. So I didn't want it. Most of them, I'm saying,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever I used to see.
yeah.
So I didn't want to fall in that category. So I was always trying to think, how can I go about it to make it look a little different, and something that would suit the film that I was
Yeah,
working in.
yeah.
In
And
fact,
so, I
one of
mean,
my
comedy, then suddenly to thriller. I mean, Jaitre Jait has a completely different, that social kind of story. So, it was quite a variety for you actually throughout. As you're saying how they came, it's becoming quite obvious that you never really got stuck to a genre,
no,
because somehow or the other, the way things were happening, you you were exploring a lot of different
yeah. So I think
genres.
depending on the director,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
what sort of film he wants to make.
yeah,
So it would depend on that
yeah,
more than me saying, okay, I'll work
yeah,
in this genre. No,
yeah,
you want to work with this guy? Okay, what's his genre?
yeah.
Is that kuch nahi hai.
One other thing I'm a little curious about is, because you say you're really an introvert. How do you deal with your crew and all the people who work for you? Because are you like very demanding? Because I'm sure you need to, with the people you work, they are so demanding. And how do you effectively communicate this in a way that the work gets done well, smoothly?
So I have a little bad temper also.
Yeah, I was expecting that, because all the people who you have worked with, they are so well known for all that. And
So I think the way I used to get along well was by shouting at my assistants.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you were quite a demanding
Yes.
person. Yeah. People knew they couldn't just take things lightly that
No,
they
no,
would
they
have.
can't.
Yeah.
They can't. Because I'm looking and I'm seeing what's happening.
Yeah.
I've seen some DOPs who say something and then they start chatting with
Yeah.
people. I could never do that. I don't even know how to chat with people.
You know, I
So
think concentration is such a problem, especially in today's times. People can't sit without their phone for a minute, and it's really a problem. And I wonder that, your degree of concentration is like an obsession. It's never deterred. I just feel that, if there's any advice in how to build concentration for today's people, today's generation, that would really be of a lot of value, because I think people struggle with this the most. So while before we rather move to the next movie, I was curious that in this journey of coming through these movies, how did you handle disappointment, rejection, or just what were the fears that you had to overcome?
no, I didn't have to face any rejections as such.
Oh, you didn't face any reject,
No,
because the industry is so notorious for promising, committing to people things, and then just, getting out of that. And
so that is yeah. So sometimes offers do come,
yeah,
but they don't materialize.
yeah.
It could be because the project doesn't take off. So normally that's the case. I don't think I've and I don't think there's any incident where I have been promised a job and somebody
And
else
it
has
didn't.
done it.
And this was right from the beginning itself, that didn't happen to you.
I don't think.
What are the fears that you've overcome in order to, keep going? And how do you deal with it when it comes? Because some people get crippled by fear, or and considering all the amazingly unique and especially path-breaking work, because you've done things that people haven't done before. So how did you, overcome whatever fear or doubts that might have been involved?
Scared of anything. Whatever I wanted to do, I would put it forward to my directors, and generally they've all agreed to what I've said. Because see, visually, I'm the one who's visually, and especially in terms of lighting for the mood, and I'm the one who's supposed to think about it. So directors, I don't know if they really think about it to that extent because they are doing so many other things.
Correct, correct.
So I have tried to do it a little beyond what's normally done. What I try to do is try and avoid giving it that normal film look that was prevalent at that moment, and that became like my working process. Yeah, the way I would work.
So I'm understanding that in terms of movies or where work is concerned, you have managed to, like allow your own obsession and commitment to it to go to such a high level that fears and all that really don't come in the way. But are there any fears of any sort which were there um, uh, apart from work? Was there any other concerns at any given time, or just, uh, sometimes, it could be fears of just things that we know we can't do. And when suddenly that thing comes in front of us and we have to do it, or any sort of fears, maybe not work related, but because that's a big thing people struggle with. That's the reason they don't try or they don't move ahead in certain areas, because they're so numbed by the fear. Is there any such thing that you can recall at all that
I think I've been lucky in that way because what I fear most, what I used to fear most, is trying to socialize and talk with people. So there was nothing beyond that. So even when if there's a creative thing that I would talk with my director, I didn't have any. Uh, I wasn't holding myself back कि क्या सोचने वाला
yeah,
है तेरा ऐसा there's nothing
it
like
was
that.
just a spontaneous kind of जो दिल से निकलता है,
Yeah,
just
and the thing was that if you don't like it, so be it. But let me at least put it forward.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
So
So
that's quite amazing. And it also actually kind of indicates to me that when the mind is kind of quiet and clear about its purpose, I think fears automatically become very minimized. It's only in other situations where I think, because people talk so much about their fears and anxieties. And so apparently the very fact that these don't really feature on your radar much, it
No,
indicates,
see, and when I work, what I wanted to do and what I've achieved
yeah,
is what I would personally know within myself.
yeah,
Others wouldn't understand properly
correct.
what I'm doing.
Yes.
जिसने कुछ सोचा होगा कोई
Yeah,
अच्छा ही काम
yeah,
करेगा एंड
yeah,
नॉर्मली वो अच्छा ही होता है बट
yeah,
उतना बुरा नहीं होते
yeah.
बट I know that sometimes I realize that I had pushed myself a little more towards the edge when I'm working, but okay, we can work. There's another opportunity again that comes.
Absolutely. Is there a particular genre that you have overall enjoyed more over the others?
I would probably think, I think thrillers are one genre where you get to do a lot more than just romantic
Romantic
love story.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But you've
Even
been
though,
such a master at that, and you've been so different in that.
yeah, so even that has its own opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in thrillers, you play more with lights, more with camera
Yeah.
movements,
There's more scope for some
more
experimentation.
variations. Than
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in love stories and all, in romantic films, you just have to make
You have
it
to
look
make it
beautiful.
look beautiful,
Yeah.
aesthetically very pleasing.
Yes.
So, what came after Khamosh?
Again, there was a period of a couple of years without work.
So you
But I was
have,
doing,
what is very strange is, and all of these are kind of successful or path breaking in a certain way, kinds of movies, and still you would experience a lull in your career of sorts.
of sorts, yeah.
And so, when was the time that, which was the takeoff of the movies where you were like, now you've like really arrived?
See, when I say again, there was a lull, the lull must have been maybe a year or
Yeah, yeah,
it's not like
yeah. Not like
like
a
10
mass.
years.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So maybe a year or one and
Yeah,
a half
and
years, 3 years.
especially with the success of these movies, it seems odd that there was at all any sort of lull. So that's why,
So it's possible that many people didn't know about me.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know, it's possible.
And so when did the feeling actually come that, and how did these movies, which really, brought you into the spotlight, when and how did that happen?
I suppose it happened as things
Things
progressed
progressed.
in terms
Yeah.
of
So
what I
which
was
would you
doing.
say was the movie that really brought you into the limelight?
I think it was Parinda.
Parinda. Yeah.
That was the film that I did after Khamosh.
So, Parinda, was there also a lull, you would say, even in Vidhu Vinod Chopra's career?
Yeah, so after
Yeah,
you make a film
yeah,
for a director,
yeah.
it
He
takes some
needs
time.
time, of course.
Yeah, to do,
Correct.
yes, to do the next film. So that it
So
took him
that it took in that bit,
must have taken 2 years or something. I don't
which
know.
is not much at all, actually. If you think of from the scripting and planning of a new film.
No, I'm not saying 2 years. It must have been about 2
Yeah,
years or
yeah,
so, maybe. I'm not
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm a little forgetful about
Of course.
dates and all.
Yeah, yeah. And so
So
Parinda, was when something correct, and actually that was a movie which worked big time.
yeah, and Parinda was a film where people noticed who this person was who was working as a cinematographer. I mean, the outside people also. People used to talk
Correct.
when I
Yeah.
met new people in my
Yeah.
ad film days
Yeah.
and all. So they would say I had seen Parinda. I don't know how many times. It was really beautifully shot and all. So I think that is one that gave me maximum recognition in those days.
And then from there, how did working with other people, because you were with Vinod Chopra for these, and then did the outside people just start coming and approaching? I mean, Sanjay Bansali, I believe, was already an assistant to yeah. So at that time, he probably knew of you and exactly how you work.
True.
So probably that's how you started working with him.
Yeah, so I did one film with Sanjay Bansali, Devdas. He was always very encouraging and saying, "Don't time doesn't matter, just do the best that you can." So and I'm considered a slow cameraman, and those days also, yeah. So in fact, I remember when I was working in, I just mentioned that in some other podcast
Huh?
that one of the actors in one of the Assamese films I did,
Yeah.
the person was from Hindi films. The person said, "You are not going to be successful in the Hindi films." I said, "Why?" Because you take too much of time. That hit me a lot. It hit me so much that I still remember it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, these are actually interesting things because, there is such a feeling that in today's generations, that in our times, that um, speed, there should be speed with everything.
Yeah, but I told myself, no, I can't work faster than this. If I work faster than this, then it'll be like a formula, yeah, this, okay, ready. And I didn't want to, I wanted to enjoy what I'm doing. I said, if I can't get work, so be it, but this is the way I work. And luckily, I thought of it that way because I'm still working at this age successfully.
And I think that that's the thing, that it's only if you're slow and, that you can allow new things to come. Otherwise, just constantly at a speed, there is just no space for anything new, or to for any exploration or experimentation to happen.
Yes.
So,
And also, it's that I could never understand the formula.
yeah.
When I was in the institute also, the professors used to say, "Don't do like this. You must have a formula of lighting things, and so that you come fast." Even then,
Yeah.
they must have noted my slowness.
Yeah.
But I said, I can't understand formulas. How do you learn a formula? I have no idea. I mean, I don't know how to do a formula work.
Yeah, which is be very predictable. Do what everybody is doing, so that
Yeah.
it's simple. It's just a prescription kind of laid out.
So, in fact, that sort of an attitude helped me saying that, okay, so be it. If I don't get work, it's fine, but I'm not going to. I don't know how to work fast, and I didn't want to push myself to work fast and become a nervous wreck at the end of the day.
The visuals of 1942, A Love Story, was so stunning. How did you come up with all this beauty, and that we all enjoyed?
One thing, I think the atmosphere was such, and the landscape was such.
Hmm.
And,
But the way you presented it was so unique, and it lingers in the mind, in the
I think that's where my school days helped a bit, in terms of the landscapes that I used to
yeah,
take.
yeah,
Uh, I used to admire a lot of beauty in the landscapes,
yeah.
whether it's a small thing like a spider or a big thing like Mount Kanchenjunga or all. So I used to go and just, before school starts early in the morning, I used to go and admire landscapes. So probably that sort of helped me in trying to make things look pretty.
Yeah.
And I remember some shots in 1942 where the landscapes were very nice.
Uh, it's isn't it incredible that it's from the explorations and your actual childhood environment, the power of exactly what you're saying, the portraits, the landscapes,
Yes.
how they come together at the right point when
Yeah,
you
it
can
certainly
use
helps.
them.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah,
And beauty in terms of, well, I've been studying portrait photography for quite some time, and how to make the actors look good and all was something that was in my eyes. I mean, I couldn't go away from that. If there was a bit of a problem, I would think that I have to make changes to make it look better. That's as far as the actors go. Landscapes, of course. Oh, this is a pretty thing. Let's do that.
yeah. So when you work on a project, is it a combined thing? Like, does the director decide the locations and everything, or do they sit with you and plan out things?
So normally, what happens is there's a there's a recce team. Normally, there's a recce team that goes and visits places,
Yeah,
send
location
pictures from
hunting
there.
and get, yeah.
And then we would discuss, me and the director will discuss, okay, this looks like a probable place for what we should do. After that, we identify a few places and then go to those places and see which one suits the best. So that could come from me, that could come from the director.
So the color palettes and everything, I know that with Sanjay Leela Bhansali, it would be quite his thing, but with the others especially, is that something where you also kind of take
To a
charge?
certain extent, yes. But like, what is the color? What should the colors be and
Yeah.
all?
Or,
But as
even
a
for
design,
song sequences, they kind of plan out things.
yeah, yeah. So
And
yeah, so there I also involve myself
yeah.
to a certain extent, to a lot, to actually to a big extent.
Hmm.
And so we discuss, not just me and the director, even the
Yeah.
art director, the production design guy. So we all just sit back and
And
discuss.
so would you say that getting along with, because probably the director is the one you most have to connect with, do you feel that that has been a fairly easy and comfortable kind of place for you to connect with them?
Yes, I did. I always connected with the directors quite well, I would think,
Mm,
and I would understand what the person, what is that guy's wanting,
yeah,
and I would
yeah,
put my things forward,
yeah,
and and we'd come to a meeting point somewhere, right? But yeah, I didn't have any problems
yeah,
understanding directors as such,
yeah.
not at all.
You know, after having worked on so many, such a wide spectrum of topics, today, what do you think would really engage you?
It's still cinematography.
Yeah. But in cinematography, is there a certain area, a genre that you haven't explored so far that you feel that it'll be nice to try out something? Is horror something that at all interests you?
Horror doesn't interest me so much. I find it a little funny.
I think that's exactly what I feel.
So if
I really feel that it's funny because
yes,
it's
so I don't know. I don't know whether I'll be able to take it seriously or not. I'm not sure. But if it comes, I'm sure I'll look at it
yeah,
from a more serious
yeah,
point of view.
yeah,
But just offhand, when you ask me like that, then
yeah.
no, horror is horrible.
I also somehow don't have the I just don't have the interest for it. I know many friends who are very like they love horror movies, but somehow for me, I've never personally enjoyed them. So, any other genre which you haven't explored so far that might be
I think no, I've not shot any period films. I think no, I've not. No, sorry. Rang
they've
De
done?
Basanti
Yeah, yeah,
has areas where it's a period, but it's not a period
yeah,
film.
yeah,
It's a modern day story which has some period feelings to it. But I've not done a full period
yeah.
film as such.
How about autobiographies? You've done Bhag Milkha, so
Yes, I've done Bhag Milkha Bhag. So those are autobiographies will go as per the
as per the person,
character,
yeah,
what he's
yeah,
done.
whatever their life
Yeah.
stories, yeah,
So if I had to make an autobiography of a serial killer, that'll be different
yeah, it'll be very
from
different from
Buddha's
correct, correct,
autobiography, right?
correct. Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
different.
I was wondering, um, do you have what's your life away from work? So, what hobbies do you nurture, or what do you do with your time when you're not behind the camera?
So nowadays I've become very boring. I hardly do anything much. But initially, what I used to do was I
Uh-huh.
used to study a lot.
You used to study a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or various, or through the internet or through the,
Yeah.
uh, I still subscribe to American Cinematography magazine. So
Mm. Always trying to keep up with all the
understand
new
what people are
things. Yeah.
doing. And yeah,
Yeah.
I was always interested
Uh.
in it. Even now, I'm still interested.
So this is very interesting. So you never ever took your craft and your abilities for granted. The attitude was constantly to keep trying to upgrade because innovations are happening all the time.
Yes. Initially, there was just a film camera and what the DOPs were doing with the film camera. There wasn't much of advancement in the cameras. Maybe a new model would come, but basically it's the same thing that you're using. It's now that with digital acquisition that things are changing very fast. So it's difficult to keep yourself abreast unless you are really into it and deeply
Yeah.
trying to understand what's there for you to do.
You're one of the people who has seen the era when there was no internet. And then you've seen how the world changed when the internet came. Do you have any thoughts on what life was before and how things are since we got the internet?
Yeah, yeah. Now there's an explosion of
Too much do
information.
you feel that it's become the world of too much information in a sense?
For me, the more information I get in cinematography,
Or
the
for
better
your
for me.
topic, yeah.
Yeah.
But we are getting a lot of irrelevant information also.
Yes, yes. And a lot of when you search for information, you
10
take
other
out a
things.
lot of things,
Yeah.
but you don't get the proper stuff.
Yeah, the
So
precise
yes.
what you're looking at. Oh yeah.
So pehle there used to be information that came from authority.
Yeah.
Now there's information that comes from half knowledge.
Yes. Absolutely. And
Somebody has studied. Oh yeah, aisa, and then he puts it in the
yeah,
in the
yeah.
internet. But they're not doing it with authority.
And also, one real problem is once an idea is explored by somebody, you find the same theme in an identical kind of thing by 50 other people. So it's really becoming a very difficult age to discern anything. That what is somebody genuinely seeking? If immediately you just see 50 versions of that one person. In fact, there was a video of one influencer of a cooking show who was complaining. She said that the minute I put out a cookery video of mine, she said that in 2 days, there is an identical, whatever dish I cook, in 2 days, there is a video of the same. She called out the channel and she said that this is so frustrating that, we are not respecting originality. We are not, giving, because it's become a very confusing age that there are people who celebrate this other, the copycat channel, because they haven't seen the original. And so
Yeah,
they're
but also
thinking,
see, it's also the internet. Yeah.
yeah,
Like, for example, if I check something on how to fry eggs, for
yeah,
example,
yeah,
I say how to fry eggs.
correct.
I just
No, that's such a huge thing,
Yeah,
right?
I just
You,
pick up one
yeah.
or one. Maybe I'll see two more of how to fry eggs. But after that, they gave me an overload of how to fry eggs.
I know. You just put in one search and then you're bombarded
Yeah, after
with,
that, you don't want it, but it
you
still
don't
comes.
want it.
Yeah,
It'll continue
it
coming.
just keeps on coming. So I don't know if that is the issue.
I mean, it's just what it is because they want those algorithms. They
Yes.
feel this person is interested in him. Now let me just completely put everything in front of them on that one topic. Yeah. So this is true. These are all these interesting observations of the internet era in which we live that you ask for a little and then you find yourself flooded with
Yeah, and whether
far
they are the
more.
right things or not, who is there
Still,
to decide?
yeah, yeah.
So I do look at the internet and see how people are looking at cinematography and how it's being dealt by various people and all. So sometimes I get some information that's useful, but a lot of it is redundant.
Have you ever felt like exploring some other things, like in the hobbies? I understood that really developing and just learning more and more about the craft. Did you ever think of doing something like directing a movie yourself? Such a thought ever come?
Well, I did sort of direct a film. I won't say that I directed the film, but I didn't enjoy the experience.
You did.
Because it's not natural for me to direct a film. I suppose the type of
Yeah.
person that I am,
Yeah.
to be able to communicate and with so many people at a time. So I didn't enjoy that experience. So that's
How are you at home with the family? Are you chilled out or are you like the boss on the set?
I'm I'm chilled out, but I'm still the boss there.
So how do you boss around the family?
And I try and get my things whatever I want to, whether it's by uh, placating or by getting angry or whatever it is.
Whatever
I
is
want
the
this.
need of the
This is
moment,
what I need.
they have to agree.
Unfortunately, that's what I was. Yes,
Yeah.
I realize that it's a mistake,
Mm,
but it's already past now, so
yeah.
there's nothing much I can do about it.
Yeah. I'd love to understand from you, how since technology changed, so the entire way of shooting or filming was so different than things are today. How did you evolve with the times? And also, what are the real changes that strongly happened in this transition?
See, now you take videos, your phone,
Everybody, we all have
everybody
phones.
does that. So
Yeah.
it's become very, very easy to
Yeah.
shoot something.
Huh.
What matters most is how well you shoot it as a craftsman, as a creative guy.
As a storyteller.
Storyteller, yeah. But now it's become much more easier to shoot films, and there are so many DOPs I don't know of who are very comfortable with digital photography, because when you're shooting in film, celluloid, what happens is that nobody knows what it's going to come out like. If there's any technical defect that's happened, or if your lighting is not according to what it
Yeah.
is, or if your camera framing as you move the camera is not to the T,
Correct.
nobody will come to know about it. So it's a more difficult medium to play with.
Yeah.
But now when I've lit up something, when I'm lighting, anybody can come behind me and say, "Oh, thoda sa andhera dikh raha hai." What's up?
Exactly. It's like the way people complain to others. Everybody watches cricket. Cricketers complain. People just come and say, you should have turned the ball this way. You should have. I mean, everybody has an opinion. I
Yeah.
mean, whether they know the topic or no.
So that sometimes happen. So now it's become a medium for
So
everyone.
did you have to actually train you must have, as technology really started to change
Yes, the science of digital
yeah.
photography is very different from your
from what it was.
celluloid photography,
Correct.
because that was films. But the initial cameras that came were very helpful for celluloid users or film camera users. So it was developed like that. But in spite of that, it would have been a very difficult medium because of the technicalities that are very different. So, but I got used to it when doing normal video films of ad films. It started with ad films, television serials. I'd done some very early in the days, so that helped me look at digital acquisition.
Was it a comfortable transition for you? There was no struggle with
I'll
that
tell you
for
what
you?
happened to me. I was shooting this film called Mawsam. I was more than halfway through it, and the ARRI guy he came and said, "Just do a test with this, no, please. It's a new camera that's come, and I'm sure you'll not be disheartened with it." I said, "Okay, let me do a test." I did a test, and I really liked it so much that in the middle of Mawsam, actually, I started using the video camera. So I really enjoyed the. It was so easy to, and it was so it doesn't stress me out to take pictures, two shots.
Correct.
So I did maybe 30-40% of the film on digital.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can make it out, but
Yeah.
so that's the way I
You approached it and
approached
got
it.
into it.
And
Yeah.
then I thought that I should have my own cameras to understand the cameras better, because otherwise you'll be only using the cameras when the shoot day comes, when the camera comes along in the shooting day, and then whatever you have to learn, you have to learn it in that particular time. But I bought my camera, and I started experimenting with it on my own. That helped me learn a lot more at a shorter span of time.
I'm wondering that you had begun this journey with a desire for, just taking pictures. So once, you became the big name in cinematography, have you continued taking pictures? Anything that started, it could be of just family or whatever, but, or even when you travel out, are you still drawn to take, on a holiday, a vacation? Are you drawn, or now has that thing been completely satiated? That.
No, I'm interested in photography, but I don't dabble with it the way I used to do. I used to be totally on photography only, but now because of cinematography, that's diluted a bit. But I still like taking pictures of birds, for example. Yeah, I like birds, and unfortunately, I would like to do more of landscape. But what's happened is, for landscape, you need to be there at a particular time. You
Yeah, I
can't
think
go
the
and say,
time.
okay, nice
Yeah,
landscape.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. You need to
It's
study
the
the light,
light. Yeah.
how the light interacts with that place and all. So I haven't done landscape for a long, long time.
Mm,
I'd love to do it, but
yeah.
and also what I enjoy about photography now is working on it in Photoshop, not in terms of making it unreal, but
Yeah.
how to enhance the whole
Enhance. Yeah. Yeah.
photograph
Yeah.
without making it look
I mean,
unreal.
now you can like go into it like an artist creating a picture
Yes,
with an existing image and
correct.
whatever you wish to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't
that's
make it look like
interesting.
we're shooting here and then I will put
Yeah.
a beach behind me.
Yeah.
I don't do the sort of a thing. I don't do compositing, but I like changing colors and making it. It's a
Yeah,
like
I think
how I
it's
pass
nice
my
the
time.
creative kind of instinct of just exploring and experimenting.
True. Yeah.
This has been such an incredible kind of learning for me because I think it's one of the first time that I've sat down and spoken with somebody who is so genuinely single-minded in what they're doing. Otherwise, I feel a lot of people today have a lot of multiple facets of interests, but you have shown that a life can be lived with such commitment and such passion and so authentically surrendered to one theme and just exploring that as a on a parting note, would you have any advice to give somebody young who is kind of starting, who has all of your work, has been impressed with your work, and is wondering that if you had to maybe do things today, start off in today's times, how do you think you would go about things?
A long time back, one friend had, not a friend, but an acquaintance. He had just used that word which stuck to me. And he said, boss, work works. Yeah.
Huh,
Work works. So,
work works. Yeah, yeah.
and that has stuck on me for a long, long time. And I agree with it. You have to work hard, not just work, not be distracted by too many things.
Just yeah.
You work, and that is the one that works the best.
I think it's like saw baat ki ek baat. That the biggest truth of all the truths is that really just doing the work, and you'll find your way and
Yes,
your
yes,
path.
true.
Thank you. This was truly a special honor. And I have learned so much about how a person who is single mindedly surrendered and dedicated to their craft, how they can construct an amazing life of beauty and inspiration. Thank you so much. And we are eagerly looking forward to all your new work and experiments that will come.
Thank you. I hope things work the way it was working for me all this time.
You're very sure it will. Thank you.
Thank you.